Hello everyone. Today we're going to go through a quick guide on how to update from a previous version to the latest version of Knulli. To begin the upgrade process, especially for single card devices like the Brick, we're going to start on the PC. I've started by creating a backups folder on the PC, and I'm going to be selecting a few folders from the SD card to preserve, such as BIOS, ROMs, cheats if you have any of those downloaded, and as a preview for an upcoming video, theme customizations. Let's grab those and drag them over to the PC for backup. When that is done, download the right install for your device, in my case the Brick, and extract it to your PC until you get the .img file. Once that's done, I'm going to be using Win32 Disk Imager. And you have to make sure that you select the correct partition. So there'll be two partitions that show up on Windows, a shared drive and a boot drive. You're going to want to select the boot drive, in my case is G. Select the image file, and then start writing. It'll ask if you want to proceed, and just say yes. Once that's done writing, we can put it into the SD card slot of the device and do our first boot. Back on the device, let's plug the SD card in. I've always found TrimUI devices to be a little bit stiff, so it may take a couple of pushes. Once that's done, press and hold the power button for about 5 seconds, and you should be greeted with the Knulli Gladiator logo. Now, first boot will take a little bit longer because it has to go through some system operations like expanding the file system partition and formatting the share partition, which is now in a exFAT format, so you can use it on the PC right away. In previous versions, it was in the ext4 format, which is a Linux-based operating system, file system, and so it could not be read by Windows natively. Now, when the device first boots, it will not have any of your games on it, but it'll have the default set of freeware ROMs and a lovely set of background music. To turn this off, go into the audio settings, go to front-end music, and uncheck. Once you hit back, the music will stop. Now let's quickly flash back to the previous version of Knulli on the Brick, which had an RGB Settings app inside of the Tools menu. Now today, on the latest version of Gladiator, when you go to the Tools menu, you'll find the OD Commander, but there is no longer an RGB Settings app. On Gladiator, press Start and select the Device Settings menu. You see the RGB LED options as well as a USB mode to switch into MTP and access the device over USB cable. Let's return to the PC and restore the folders that we backed up. With Gladiator, this is actually much easier than on previous versions of Knulli because the SD card is now formatted in exFAT format, which means it can be read by Windows natively, or you can plug in via the MTP mode and restore the files. Once that's done restoring, return the card to your device. You'll notice that Gladiator made some updates and improvements to load Emulation Station much faster and enjoy your fully stocked device. Remember to stay retro, stay gaming, stay awesome.